What's up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from LWZ Gaming, aka Malachai36. I am here with Gravity-Mark 2. How are you guys doing today? Or how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Sunday, today's my Friday, so I'm looking forward to catching up on some more that too. They actually just dropped some new titles today, but I'm interested to catch up on some anime. I have a lot of stuff backlogged, so I need to actually get to that backlog and actually knock some of that out, because there have been some titles that I've really been itching to look to check out.
Heard that, man. Heard that. Sunday fun day. You can't say it any best. Today's Super Bowl Sunday, but most importantly, it's mine and my wife's anniversary. Turn it down for what? Yep.
Happy anniversary, you guys!
Thank you. Yes. 8 strong years. So, definitely some good stuff there. Yeah, we have some animated definitely talk to you guys definitely as well. I definitely want to give a shout out to Lavish Savage 229 for dropping inside the chat right now early. So thank you very much again for tuning in. I'm just kind of getting some of the plugs out the way. Just a reminder for anybody that is following us on Twitch, you guys can actually get a free entry to a $50 gift card. We're doing that monthly. So if you guys are following us on Twitch, you guys are already getting an entry into that drawing. If you guys sub to us on Twitch, you guys get 2 free entries in addition to your follow. And then if you are, when we do our Alt Things Gaming on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7:30 p.m., if you guys type in the code word whenever it happens throughout the show, during that live episode, you guys will get an additional 2 entries that would be submitted into the drawing too as well. So you guys have a chance of getting 6+ entries or 5+ entries just on 1 month alone. But of course, for the code name, you guys, as long as you guys are tuning into each episode, you guys can keep on stacking those up until the end of the month to increase your chances of winning a $50 gift card of your choice. So be sure to be checking that out. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, as we're going on weekly episodes with that. Maybe a little bit of Promised Neverland, some nice little surprises from there that me and Gravity had talked slightly about, but we want to have that conversation on stream for you guys today. Attack on Titan and more, because again, this is all day anime with all things ALWT gaming. Bro, the amount of news and updates and theories and stuff we have today is a lot. How do you feel? Where's your head at right now?
My head right now is that I haven't felt this excited about anime in probably 10 years. There's just a whole new wave coming, and I feel like that happens maybe every 10 years or so. Now that I have a little bit more life experience, I'm thinking that we're probably going to see waves of brand new anime coming out maybe every 10 years or so that are going to redefine what we really consider great in this medium. And then maybe for the next 10 years, we'll have some good stuff here and there, but it's this year, holy crap, man. The titles that are coming out this winter are insane. We're getting some really great follow-ups. We're getting some pretty great brand new entries into the anime universe. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm really excited in this medium. Mm-hmm. And then maybe for the next 10 years, we'll have some good stuff here and there.
I need to get this over
this
here
year
pulled up. I need to get my dock pulled up because I accidentally closed it. But where's your head at right now?
My head is
turn that back on you. Yeah. Where's your head at right now? How are you feeling about the anime that's coming out right now? What are you excited for? Let's talk about it.
Well, first and foremost, I'm excited that Gatorano's in the chat. Hi, friends. Dude, hope you're doing well, my
What's
guy.
going on?
Hope you're doing well. This is another person that I love having conversations with when it comes down to anime, primarily about Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover. If you guys are not following Gatorano, he's the truth. Make sure you guys are checking him out. Also, our third FIFA buddy, Newlywed, he was able to fill in that left wing spot. So Promised Neverland, he just threw it in there. Yeah, we have so much to talk about for sure. But as far as my headspace, I definitely am very excited for what 2021 has to offer, because a lot of those 2019 animes, some 2020 that were coming inside the that were coming inside the I guess the scene last year, they're starting to have a season 2 come out, and I'm very excited about that. Just recently, actually yesterday, I can't even say recently. Yesterday, my wife just started getting into Demon Slayer.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good one. Yeah,
I had her try that out just to try it out because I mean we have this time off together and everything like that. I was just like, you know what? She's not really much of an anime person. There's like some animes that she does like. She likes a little bit of Seven Deadly Sins. She likes Sword Art Online. She likes Attack on Titan, but she can't get through the deaths. so like because they get really sad and everything like that. So that's a different monster, but. Demon Slayer, she's interested. I think she's actually in the back right now watching the latest episode since I'm already all the way through it. But yeah, it's just some really good stuff here that I'm really excited to talk about and seeing what this has to offer in the future here. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. How strong is Rimuru freaking Tempest, man? How strong is this guy?
Well, he's strong. Let's just put that out there. He's really strong. Like the first season did, I think, a really great job of kind of like demonstrating that. Like obviously, I love that they kind of made him overpowered, but I kind of love all of the little character quirks and the little character flaws that he has. But this season, like they already did show like a little bit. I have. As I was actually telling you before, I've already seen the first 3 episodes of season 2. The first one was just a recap episode, so I mean, I usually rewatch the entire prior seasons. Like usually, like it's like just like the prior season, unless it's Attack on Titan, in which case like there's just so much time between. I watched all of it, but I didn't really get a chance to do that this time around. So like I actually appreciated a recap episode for like the first time ever. Like usually I'm just like, no, get that out of here. I don't want to watch a recap episode. But it was a nice little refresher to be like, oh yeah, I like that person. Oh yeah, I like that person over there. Oh, I like that character. I forgot about them. It's been a while. Yeah, I loved he's strong. Let's just say that. His assistant when she was and then this is getting into some spoiler territory for these more recent episodes. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's really great. You can get it on Crunchyroll. With this season, we're starting to see that now Rimuru has really established all of these different like magical beast races as a unified nation. And it looks like this season is really going to be focusing on kind of like their relationship with some of the other nations. But just to start off, like they were already meeting with one of their neighboring nations, and they already were like, yeah, like let's fight. And they were like, okay, let's fight. So you have his assistant who actually puts up a really great fight, but then she kind of goes a little overboard with, I can't remember what that was. It was just a really big blue ball of energy that was like gonna level the entire forest. And like they kind of like emphasized it, like, oh, like there's not going to be anything left if she shoots that off. and they do stop the fight, thankfully. But she kind of like she gets a little too tired. She puts too much energy into it. It basically becomes a spirit bomb.
Yeah.
Like let's just put it that like it's huge.
Yeah.
And Rimuru's just like, oh, like just shoot it at me. I got it. And he's just like, wait, what? Like you're gonna take that? You're gonna eat that whole thing? Like you're gonna eat it? He's like, yeah, like just shoot it. I got it. And then he does. He uses his gluttony ability, takes care of it. And I think it's a really great way to just kind of establish his level of power right now. And I think like while I'm not super surprised about it, because like he did kind of show like levels of strength to that degree in the first season, I believe. But
yeah.
I think it's a really great starting point to establish his level of power. Regardless, though, he is incredibly powerful. What are your thoughts on his power? Because I know we have these hypotheticals like every week. So like I'm interested to see, like, as you're coming up with all the really great hypotheticals of these fantasy battles. So what do you think of his level of power?
First and foremost, if this was a fighting game, Rimuru would not be a playable character. I will say that much. He will not be a playable character if it was a fighting game. I would not see him
like
jump
Kirby. like Rimuru like the Kirby of the anime universe.
Yeah. And I think actually right there, Gadarano typed in and says, I'm finding it interesting because he is obviously powerful, but in a different way. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I think that it's crazy because it's just like, one, you see a lot of his power in season 1, but then as season 1 goes on, you come across people that he admits are stronger than him, but he still finds ways to subdue them. It's just like this guy's intelligence is out of this world, along with his power and everything like that. And of course, he wants to be the carefree slime, doesn't want responsibility, but he ends up getting it all. Him just naming people like literally levels them up. Like just giving them a name just levels them up alone. And let me tell you guys, the Kijins, Shion, Soe, Benimaru, like Shuna, like all of them are Hakuro, like all of them are not to be trifled with. Not to be trifled with. They're probably my favorite characters in the game, to be honest with you. Shion, Soe, all of them. I love them all.
Yeah, and they were already really powerful to
as
begin
ogres,
with.
yeah, they're just
Like
powerful.
they were
ogres
already,
yeah,
they were already up there. And as soon as he names them, like they just get that much higher.
Exactly. Yeah, they just transform into a Kijin. And it's just like, snap, dude. And to see this, you're correct. You're 100% correct. I don't think it's a surprise, but it is just like, is this guy going to get stronger? Not so much how strong is he right now, but is he going to get stronger? Because at the very beginning, Gadarano says, I like the Kirby analogy. There you go.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
like he is like he just eats whatever he wants to eat.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like that. I do like that because it's such an overpowered ability. They kind of like save it for very rare occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he could easily just eat anything. He could just hypothetically just be like, I just don't want to deal with this. I'm going to eat you, and he could just go through the entire series like that. But that's just too boring. He saves it as kind of a last resort to just be like, all right, well, I don't want to do this, but all right, sure.
I mean, because like if you think about it, at the very beginning of the series of season 1, he was eating everything, and that's how he kind of got bigger. And even he ended up eating Veldora, and even though Veldora is still technically alive in his stomach, in his slime storage or whatever, it still is like he's able to harness that power that Veldora has, as well as all these monsters that he ate at the very, very beginning. Then it started slowing down after Shizu. That's when it started slowing down a little bit more. I think there's only one other monster that he ended up eating, which was the Orc Lord at that point. And then like even when they fought Charybdis, like he was able to use that ability when they shot their shells at Shion and Soe, and he was able to just protect them that way. And he's just like, well, save your strength because they're regenerating those shells again. Only to find out that the whole time that thing was after Malene, and she just kills it with one punch. Like that's insane. It's insane to think that someone that like Rimuru wasn't with an army, I mind you, wasn't really a full-fledged match for Charybdis. And then he hears Malene, he's just like, oh. So you're telling me this whole time she could have been fighting? And she was over there asleep. He's like, you telling me this whole time she could have been fighting? Malene, you're up. She goes up, one punch, out. So it's just like, that is insane to me. And so going inside season 2, seeing this whole fight with I love the fight with Shion with Shion and that one general from the Beast Kingdom. And then I also liked the fight between Yom and that other guy, because I was not expecting Yom to pull out those tricks that he did.
I loved that fight, and I loved that they're reusing this character. Because exactly. Because like the last season, like he wasn't like, he was good. He just wasn't like amazing.
Exactly.
But because Rimaru's thinking like so far ahead to say, oh shoot, well, I can't really have other people knowing that we beat the Demon Lord. That's gonna cause some issues. Hey, you. Oh yeah, you're gonna be the one who did it. And he's basically like, hey, how about I give you some really dope armor and weapons, and then you get to say that you beat him, and then you just talk us up. That's all.
And it's like, here's the thing: he thought so far ahead that not only just give them good armor and stuff like that, which is what was relayed in the first season, but you find out in season 2 that Hakuro had trained Yom. So that way he can live up to that potential too. And I was just like, Okay, that's dope. Because when I first saw that one beast general or servant was going to fight Yom, I was like, Yom's about to get wrecked, man. And this is Rima's going to have to step in, and or Shion or something like that. Then you see Shion step in. I was like, okay, that's how that had happened. That's how that gets diverted. So I wasn't expecting Yom to fight. And then you see Yom just going like pull out a sword, boom, right there. Like I was like, what is going on? Like that gave me chills, man. Because I was just like, oh, he stepped up his game. He stepped up his game.
He stepped it up a lot.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's what I really love about this show is that like they do a lot of the same things that other like a lot of other power fantasy shows do, where they just make the main character just incredibly overpowered.
Yeah.
But I love how they kind of subvert a lot of that by really always giving kind of a happy resolution at the end of it. Like, and like no matter what they're doing, they just give a happy resolution. And it's like you said, like Rimuru had the foresight to say, okay, well, we could give this guy weapons, we could give him armor, and we can like just tell him to go around telling people, oh, hey, you beat the Demon Lord. But if he gets messed up, if someone comes and beats him, people are going to be questioning whether or not he actually did.
Exactly.
And the fact that they handed him over to their best swordsman to be like, hey, you're training him. And especially because he's still like a pretty relaxed guy, but like he's like, okay, like I'm gonna go to the bath now, and his like teacher just grabs him by the shoulder, is like, no, you're coming to train right now, and he's like, okay,
yeah, and that just shows. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like it. I love it. I love that so much. I love that they're not throwing the character away. It seems like they're trying to find a use for every single character to do something productive, and I think that says something more about the story, because it's not only Rimuru finding uses for these creatures that he's taking in to have them be productive members of their nation, but it's also the writer's way of showing of like not letting these characters go to waste either.
Yeah. Like
they have all of the what were they? The orcs? Like the ones that were fixing up the road?
Yeah, orcs, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, okay, like well, where are the orcs? I don't really see them around. They're fixing the road from the fight that ended it the last season.
Yeah, for Charybdis.
For Charybdis. So I was like, that's a really great use of these characters. It's a way to let them not go to waste. They're doing something productive. You know, like when you think to yourself, man, like where are those characters at? What are they doing? It's like, oh, here's where they are. Here's what they're doing. They're doing something productive. Yeah. Whether or not they engage in combat at this point is kind of irrelevant, because they kind of they've kind of separated the cast now into like members that fight and then the members that just kind of like help build up the nation of Tempest, because they have that with the dwarves. Like the dwarves don't really fight. I think they fought, they don't really fight, but they make the really great armor. They make the amazing weapons. So it's like you're giving them a purpose other than just being there.
Yeah.
And I personally love that.
Yeah, I'm all on board with that too, because those doors you have Kaijin and all his gang. Like Kaijin's great at making armor, weapons, good stuff like that. The oldest brother was the same way. Like he's good at making armor. One of them was good at making jewelry. Another one was good at building the buildings. So he used his talents to teach others. And then you see all of the dragon men or lizard men, they're inside the marshes because that's already a good habitat for them. So they're growing stuff there with Vespa, whatever that one dwarf's name was, that the tall one that was actually kind of evil at first, but then turned over a new leaf. And then like you're 100% correct. It's not just one of those like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, and then you don't see them or hear about them, and maybe in some dialogue they're mentioned and that's it. You're actually seeing them be in those roles that Rimuru had actually put them. They're giving them each character a purpose. And going over to back to Yom, I honestly thought when they sent him off that was going to be the last of them. They brought him back, but not only did they bring him back as one, pretty hardcore as fighting, but two, the way that he's introducing to this new character, which I'm not going to spoil for you guys because that's episode 5, I think it is, and I know Gravity-Mark's not there yet. But the way this one character, yeah, the way that he's interacting with this one character is giving me that sense that Yom is not only going to just be a supporting character, but a strong supporting character to have a relationship and maybe even a main character for this person that he interacted with. It's so cool what the writers are doing. It is so cool, man. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how this is all going to pan out because Bennett and here's Rigard, Gapta. I think that they have some. Well, Gapta we already know has been training with Hakan.
I love Gapta.
Yeah,
Gapta is the perfect example of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really thought Gapta was just going to be a throwaway character.
Mm-hmm.
I truly thought that he was just going to be a throwaway character where it's just like, oh, hey, it's that guy. Gapta, yeah. He's there. But, like, they're actually giving him a pretty important role. They're having him train. They're actually, he's actually pretty good.
He's the captain of the Goblin Riders.
Yeah, he's captain of the Goblin Riders.
Yeah.
And they ride wolves. They're
that used to be their enemies. That used to be their enemies.
Yeah, there used to be enemies, but now they're goblins that wear armor and ride wolves. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. That's super cool. And don't even get me started with like the lightning tigers that the other nation was riding. The lightning tigers, that was really cool. Yeah. That was an amazing touch. But speaking of which, like you said, I'm only 3 episodes in. I think they have 5 episodes. I think you're fully caught up on the other 2. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to give away any spoilers if you don't want to. But based on from what you've seen so far, do you with the pace that they've had going on, do you think there are going to be any characters, any main characters, any side characters that might be dying, either coming up soon or sometime in this season in general?
I don't think so. I think if anything, yeah, I don't think so. I think if they do have deaths of characters, it's going to be in the final season, maybe the final fight. I don't. The way that this anime is lighthearted and how it kind of is like goofy a good portion of the time, but like an appropriate amount of goofy and stuff like that. The action that they put in, I think all of that kind of sets it up for it to be a happy ending at the end of the entire series. But I think that if anyone were to die, it would be at the very end when they're fighting like Carrion or whatever that one Demon Lord's name was. Because I'm pretty sure that Demon Lord that had summoned Shizu to the world, I'm pretty sure he's going to be like the boss of bosses. Like, I think he's going to be the final piece. But I don't think anyone's gonna like truly die. Even though we've had some deaths, like Shizu, she died. She's absorbed into, but she died. She didn't like die like a hero fighting battle. She died being absorbed into Rimuru. So it's almost like she didn't entirely leave. It was like a happy going away. You know what I mean? Because and that's another reason. I think that's another reason why she died is because they said how long she's been alive. She's well over. She was old. Really old.
Yeah, because her hair turned white. Like her hands got all pruny and wrinkly and old. Like she's been around for a while. Because if she was because she was from Japan as well. Yeah. When she was brought over to this world, but she was summoned during, I believe, World War II.
Yeah.
And it was when the Allies, us, were bombing we're bombing Japan, and I always hate talking about that because like it is sad. It's sad that it happened in general, but just kind of seeing it from that perspective is always really just kind of insightful just to see that. But it's nuts that she was pulled in from a very chaotic time into a very chaotic world, and for the most part, she lived a very chaotic life.
Yeah.
And you finally had her kind of like make this connection with Rimuru, who wasn't even born. Like they're from the same world, just 2 very different times. And it's nice to see that she actually got to, for the most part, end her life on such a high note. To be able to get to know somebody else from her own world, from her country, who speaks the same language. And it was really nice at the very end of it, where as she's kind of like passing on, she's like, "Hey, what is your name?" It's like, "Oh, like it's Rimuru." It's like, "No, what is your real name?" Mm-hmm. And then he tells her real name. Like it was a very nice way to make that connection. But I agree with you. I honestly, I don't think that they're really going to have any major deaths. At the very least, with what they've established with season 1, with the pacing and the way that they're telling the story, Rimuru, for the most part, unless because like I don't expect Rimuru might be killing people here and there, but for the most part, they tried to not kill people.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that message of trying to say, hey, let's try to like calm down. Let's chill out. Let's try to de-escalate this before it gets to that point. And because Rimuru even tried that with the Orc Lord.
Yeah.
Like he tried it, and the Orc Lord was not having it. He's like, no, I'm gonna eat you. And Rimuru was just like, okay, fine. Well, then I'm gonna eat you. We're gonna see who eats each other first. And even when Rimuru eats people, it's really not. It doesn't necessarily have that negative context of like, oh, like he's killing them. Like for the most part, like from what we've seen when he does eat people, it's kind of shown as like a nice way of passing on. Like they're given these really great thoughts. There's these really great feelings where the Orc Lord like finally felt at peace.
Yeah, and I was about to say that those were the two biggest ones. Was when he absorbed Shizu, and when he absorbed the Orc Lord. Both of them, he gave them those memories. He gave them those sense of peace to where they could move on. So even though yes they were dying and they ceased to be existing now, they're able to rest happy because they're either they have that image of their loved one, which is in this case Shizue, it was her mom, and that had left her. Well, not left her, but her mom was exploded, like she died. But now she's reunited with her mom, and then same thing for the Orc Lord is that his people now can be fed. His people have peace, and not only did Rimuru do that by absorbing him, but he followed up with that afterwards. He gave them a place to stay. He gave them literally food and stuff like that. He was just like, it's not going to be free. And that's a good lesson because stuff shouldn't be handed to you in the first place. It's not going to be free, but hey, you go ahead and work with us. We'll give you peace. We'll give you a place to work, to live. We'll give you a place to sleep. And that one, I think his name is Gerald or whatever, had tried to come over and have Benimaru take his head because he's just like, this sin right here is unforgivable. My people killed your people, and Benimaru forgave him, bro, man. that was good. That was good.
I love it. Like I really do. Like it is such a good, like it feels good to watch it. Is really like the truth of it. Like it just feels good to watch it because like with some shows, like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan, I have no idea.
No idea.
I can speculate. And I will continue to speculate, but at the end of the day, I have to just throw my hands up and say, I have no clue. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what's going to happen because Aaron just popping out of the friggin' building like that, just completely that was my point where I was like, okay, you know what? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. It's so unpredictable, but like with like there is a sense of predictability in some ways with this show with that time I got reincarnated, and it's a good way. It's in a good way. It's not like something that's like, oh, like it's predictable because it's a trope.
Right.
That because everyone does it.
Yeah. It's
more so predictable in the sense that they're trying to send a message to the audience of forgiveness. Because we see a lot of anime
and equality too.
And equality. Yeah. That's a really big one.
Yes.
Is that you have this person who, and again, because he's in this forest with all of these like these magical beast tribes, they don't like humans. Humans are jerks in this world, and they don't like them. And because Rimuru was originally a human, he's trying to get them to see the world a different way. And in order for him to get them to see the world a different way, he has to have everyone get along in some way. Like he's having them get along and say, hey, why are you guys arguing? Why don't you do this and then you do this and then like you guys are cool?
Yeah.
And I love that message of equality and forgiveness in this show because we don't see it a whole lot. Or like in cases where we do see it, like we see Goku forgiving Frieza for the 20th time, like Frieza's he's gonna stab him in the back. He's gonna shoot a laser in his chest. He's gonna do it. Like a lot of the time in certain anime, like we see that forgiveness isn't always best. Sometimes like with the way that authors try to tell these stories is that like these characters were almost naive to forgive these people.
Yeah.
Where Rimuru is just honestly he's just so OP that he's just like, I'm gonna forgive you, but if you stab me in the back, I'm gonna eat you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that.
And even if that does happen, I feel like there would still be like, if it comes down to, I think it still will be a last resort for him. I think that if someone stabbed him in the back or whatever, he might still forgive them again, but unless it was like at the cost of some of the Kijin or Lizardmen or goblins or hobgoblins or anything like that. If it causes his people to be in danger, he would do what he has to do and what he has done in the past to protect them and protect everybody. Speaking on the level, what's up, Eskill? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, Eskill?
Yes. Speaking on the level of predictions, what are your predictions for upcoming episodes for that time I got reincarnated? You know what I mean? I know I'm a little bit further, so you might have a few episodes to predict on, but what are your particular predictions that's going to be happening?
You're good. I'm actually really glad you asked because I already had some predictions immediately, like as soon as I finished episode 2.
Okay.
I had some predictions where for me, it seems like this season is honestly, as weird as it sounds like it's starting to tell the story that the intro song for the first season was trying to tell. Because like if you like actually like recall like what all they showed in the intro for the first season, there was quite a bit of fighting with certain characters that they didn't really have. They just didn't have it. Like there was like I think there was like Rimuru who was fighting somebody and was just calling down black lightning, and he was just kind of like shifting between his slime form and his human form, fighting this person. And he just shifted into his human form and called down some black lightning on this guy. And I was like, I never got to see that. Or like, I didn't see enough of it. Like where it felt like it did a lot of building up. And then when it came to the combat, I felt like it just didn't really hit it. So, but with this season, I'm like, oh, cool. So the first season was really just to establish the world in general. It's to establish these characters. It's to establish these nations. It's to establish, you know, like the power struggle and kind of like where everyone is kind of like on that scale of power. And it feels like this season is going to be more of that. It's going to be more of that fulfillment of combat. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more fighting. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more intense fighting. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more battles that are on the level of the end of season 1. And I think it's just going to keep going up from there.
I got a question for you. And this is not on the dock at all. So this is completely off the dome, and it hit me. All right. I talked a little bit about this with Ohio, but I want to know your thoughts on this. Okay. If that time I got reincarnated as a slime was a video game, what type of video game would it be? I have a theory, and I have an idea of how it would be for me, but I want to hear your thoughts first before I give you my pitch.
Well, there's the kind of video game that I think it would be, and then there's the kind of video game that I would want it to be.
Okay.
Because as sad as it is to say, there are so many really amazing anime out there that just have garbage video games. Yeah. I'm gonna say, like, 100%. I'm sorry. Like, game developers, you gotta step it up. Like, I get that. Like, I feel like in a lot of cases, like the video games are meant to just be more so, just advertising for the series.
That's what it is.
But then again, like more often than not, like it's the series that is supposed to promote all of the merchandise to make money. Because I don't even think they make money off of the anime unless like it's in like DVD sales. Mm-hmm. So like it seems like more often than not, it's the anime that's trying to promote the product they're selling. But sometimes it feels like the game is to promote the anime, which is to promote the products. And I'm just more often than not, I'm just let down by anime games because like I feel like it would be the type of video game it would be very much kind of a oh here go to this place and then go to this place and then go to this place. Like I feel like it would just be on rails and it would just retell the story of the first season. You know, you'd be doing all the exact things. The maps would be very small. The assets might be okay. The voice acting is probably going to be okay to maybe just recycled clips from the show. They might even slice in like different scenes from the anime into the game as cutscenes, but like do it a little bit differently. And it's like I don't want that. I'm sorry, I don't want it. Like to me, I feel like that's what they would do. Because I'm thinking like it. There's I can't even think of a game right now. I'm trying to honestly think of a game to compare it to.
So let me give you my pitch. All right, because
give me your pitch.
I agree with you. There's a lot of animes that turn into video games that aren't really that great. All right. For example, Seven Deadly Sins. Even though I like the fighting in that, it's okay at best. Sword Art Online was different because that one was an alternate universe almost the whole time, and it was actually really good all the way up until Alicization Lyricist. So that one would definitely be one of the top animes that's out. The only downside with that one is that everything has to be in the Japanese voice acting, so you have to read everything, and and their dialogue can be beefy in those types of animes. So you might spend 15-20 minutes just reading before you actually get to like a mission. So that those are some stuff that they could work on a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I don't know if you've played this. I know Abyss has played this. It almost feels like
Digimon
Cyber Sleuth. Yeah. You had it right there. That's what I would feel like if it was a video game. It would feel like Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah.
Where it's very condensed. It's very small. Because as soon as you said that like the dialogue was going to be really beefy, I immediately thought of Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah. That's because go ahead.
Because I do like that game. It is a really fun game, but it's just the dialogue in between is just like, I don't want to sit here. I don't want to sit here listening to this and reading this for 15 minutes. I came here to play Digimon.
Exactly.
I want a Digivolve.
Yeah.
Give me my War Greymon. Actually, no. Give me my like Metal Garurumon. I want that one.
Mm-hmm.
I want that. Like, ideally though, I would kind of want it to be more like Genshin Impact. Maybe not in the gacha kind of way,
okay,
but more so in at least. And this is just my style. This is like my taste. I like games that tell you what to do and tell you where to go, but they don't like force you to go there.
Mm.
Like Ghost of Tsushima was a perfect example where like it would give you places to go on your map. It would say, hey, the next story point is over here, but it would say, oh, cool, so I have to go there. And they're like, yeah, you go over here. I'm like, so I can go the opposite way too? And they're like, yeah, if you want to. Like, you're going to miss the story and you might be a little confused, but yeah, like you can go that way. It's like, cool, I'm going to go that way then. Because like I would love to see like game development wise what all they could do with his predator ability.
Yeah.
Because just picture it. It's a big open field, or like it's a forest that you're just kind of like jumping through, or maybe like it starts you off in a cave and it's a pretty big cave. I don't know if anybody's played Ark, but like the caves in Ark can get pretty big. So like you're just jumping around, you're doing stuff, you're eating things, and you're getting new skills. And you can kind of like equip those skills and select the skills that you kind of want to use. So you can kind of like customize the way that you want to play it. So it is this story of Rimuru, but it's like your story as Rimuru.
Mm.
Because like a lot of the time when you tell a story, it's like, oh, like what would I do if I was that character? And to me, I feel like the thing that anime games are missing is that key. They're missing that part where the audience wants to insert themselves as the main character. They don't want to play as the main character making the same decisions that the character made.
Uh-huh.
Because how many times have we watched an anime where somebody goes and does something that we're like, no, what did you do? Why? Why did you do that? Why? Of all the things, you could have just turned around, you could have walked away, you could have done X, Y, or Z, but no, you had to do this really dumb thing. Why did you do that? Like, or in some cases, maybe they didn't do something, and then you're like, well, you could have just blown the whole place up. You could have just ended it right here, and we could have just moved on. But no, you had to be a Goku and gave your energy to Frieza. Good job. Like, I like that level of freedom in making decisions, and you getting me onto to Dragon Age is kind of an influence to that. I don't think I would want to see it on like a full level of Dragon Age, because that's just asking way too much for developers. But a nice open world where you can kind of make decisions, you can kind of do what you want. Because I really would love to see what all developers could do with the Predator's skill to kind of like to balance it, to add that level of challenge and customization to what skills you give Rimuru.
Yeah, I halfway agree with you on your pitch there. And kind of going back to it. All right, so recently, actually, just like a couple weeks ago, ReZero came out with the anime game. I haven't looked into it because it's very they're like little chibis characters. So like it's almost like you're playing a Game Boy game on a console. Maybe if it becomes free to play, or a free play plus game or something like that. I don't think it's gonna go free to play, but I think if it becomes like a free plus game, I might try it out or something. But I mean, we have had anime games that haven't really been the greatest. I think one of the ones that have been pretty good, Attack on Titan 1 was actually good. It was good, but that's all it was. It was just good. Attack on Titan 2 was amazing. And one of the things I loved about Attack on Titan 2 was that not only did it go all the way back and gave you all of 1, but you're playing from your own created Survey Corps members' point of view. So that was something that I wholeheartedly loved. And it kind of twisted it up a little bit. It showed that you were one of the survivors that were there. And the way it ended kind of left it open that they could make a third one for that same concept. And I thought it was amazing. But here's my pitch. Okay? It's not going to be adventure type. But imagine, all right, you have the little, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Series come in, the intro come in, it's rolling. Then all of a sudden it ends. Muso. You have yourself a Dynasty Warriors style. That time I got reincarnated as a slime game. 4 players, maps are huge, and you can actually, and I'm cool with them having the same exact story as the anime has it, but you're able to play as Benimaru, so they'll be able to add in some stuff that you can see from his point of view. You're able to play as Shion, and this was even before they even met Rimuru. You're playing them as ogres, and then they get to the point. Go ahead.
So basically, it would be that time I got reincarnated as a warrior.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
like pretty much,
it pretty much be that, but it like that fighting style, because I see that, because I know that they had that inside. I know we have that inside other games. For example, Gundam Wing. I know Gundam Wing has that. I know Hyrule Warriors. They had that. There's a lot of games that's out there that adopts that Musou style fighting style. Basura is another one. If you guys remember that on PS3, that was a really good one actually. But I think that if you had these characters lined up, it would have replayability because you're able to play from different people's points of views. There's still points where they meet up and you can go ahead and battle that out. But ultimately, though, you're playing from these different players' points of views, which is, I think, gives it that sense of replayability. Maybe even some different mini games here and there. I think, I'm mainly, I think the thing that sells me on it is that Orc Lord fight. That is just, there's so many fights going in so many different areas, and they're taking on massive amounts of orcs. And I thought that was so cool, and I'm just kind of envisioning that.
All right, so I'll say this: you sold me on it. You did sell me on it, because as soon as you made that comparison to Dynasty Warriors, I was like, okay, you know what? I could see it. I can't see it, because as much as I love, because I'm a huge open world fan. I'm a huge let me make the decisions that I want to make kind of gamer. I don't necessarily like to be handheld, but like, I don't like my hand held. I like my hand held consoles, but I don't like my hand being held like through a game. It's just like, oh, just let me figure it out. Let me play it.
Right.
But I loved like Dynasty Warriors. I'll admit, I was not a big fan of the classic Dynasty Warriors, and honestly, I think it was because when it came out, I was too young to really appreciate the story it was telling. And I've actually just recently got done playing Hyrule Warriors, because now I gotta play Age of Calamity, because that's the prequel to Breath of the Wild. I gotta get that out there. I gotta get that played. And Hyrule Warriors really kind of like showed me the potential of what that style of play can be, and it's really fun. Now, I will say this: I would be okay with it being kind of like that time I got reincarnated as a warrior, or like a slime warrior, or whatever you want to have it. But I would love there to be some sort of like city builder aspect to
Empires.
Yeah,
you make it like Dynasty Warriors Empires. That's what you can do. Yeah,
like have some level of like customization in terms of like of building this nation that he's unintentionally built. because you have a lot of games where they're like, oh, like as you progress, like this, like the world just gets bigger and it gets better and it gets more vast. I would love it so that way, like maybe like in between missions and stuff, like you're just like you have like a whole town that you can explore, and maybe you can say, okay, well, you know what? I want to put a building right here. I want to put this building right here, and I want to have this person go do this, and I want to have this person go do that. So that way, like when you want to like game and you really want to like have some combat time, you have your combat time. But when you're like, okay, hold on, I need to take a break. I need to slow down. I want to chill out for a bit. Just go mess around in your city. Go mess around in your city. Tired of those dirt roads? Have the orcs put down some bricks. You need some more armor for your goblin warriors? Have the dwarves make it. Go put it in order with the dwarves. Like have something like that.
I want to say this week, at least for a couple hours, me and you have to play Dynasty Warriors 9. I was screen share. Yeah, I was screen share it with you. We could do it because everything that you're saying right now is in 9. Materials, minerals, and open world. Here's even the beauty about it is because Dynasty Warriors is based on a true story, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, as most people know. If you don't know, then yeah, Liu Bei, Lu Bu, Guan Yu, all those are actual real people that are now long dead. But yeah, they're actual real people. There's points to where inside the previous Dynasty Warriors, it would direct you to go ahead and do this, explains the story. You can go ahead and do that right there. Or you could try to take on these other areas that have not actually been established yet, like for you to get there. It might be really hard because there'll be higher levels because you're not supposed to be there yet, but it's still manageable for you to do. It is such an open, vast nation. And it's like, it feels like an MMORPG Dynasty Warriors style. It's really cool. So we'll have to jump on that together and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And imagine that, but that time I got reincarnated as a slime. That would be fantastic. So, Koei, if you guys are listening, you guys have work to do. It's 2021. You guys heard it here first from ALWT Gaming. You guys got work to do.
Get on it, guys. Because that's actually kind of surprising. Because at least I don't know like what the similarities are between Dynasty Warriors and Hyrule Warriors.
There's a lot.
Because Hyrule Warriors, like, they do have these like pretty big open maps with just like specific areas that you have, which I like. But it's based on like a mission. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to this mission. It's gonna send me to this place, and then I can like kind of run around all of this place and do X, Y, and Z. So, but yeah, that was actually pretty surprising. I'm actually kind of surprised that it has some sort of like open world aspect to it. But you're gonna have to show me very soon. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do that.
Yep, we're gonna share play it and go from there, man. What's up?
Speaking of surprises, though, moving on to our next topic, Promised Neverland.
Yes.
You called me at like, what was it, like midnight?
Something like that. Yeah.
You called me like something really late. And you were just like, dude, did you see Promised Neverland? Have you seen it? Oh, and the reaction you had was the reaction that I have with abs when I read any sort of manga, and I'm like, oh, abs, oh man, I'm like, oh man, just this most recent chapter, oh man, and you were like, Gravity, oh man, like I don't want to spoil it, but oh man, it's so like you're just like taught like it's just so crazy that you just can't get it out there.
Yeah.
But now we can get it out there since we're talking about it. Huge spoiler warning for this most recent episode, and basically the story that's been told in the anime up until this point. Huge spoiler. So if you haven't seen this episode, please go check it out.
Yes.
Please watch it. Please watch it all the way through the end, so that way you can be just as surprised as we are. So if you have watched it, awesome. Let's talk about it. If you haven't, what are you doing? Go watch that and come back and listen to this later.
Yes.
But holy crap, Norman's back.
Yep. Holy crap, what? Norman is back. What
is this?
Yes.
What is craziness? Yeah. Because again, Promised Neverland is another one of those series that I just don't know. I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough because I can speculate, and that's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been going back and forth with myself. I'm like, he's probably dead, but they might have him like alive somewhere doing something, or he's probably dead. They might be. It's like because I kept going back and forth because I'm just like, are they trying to trick me into thinking that he's dead? Or are they trying to trick me into thinking that he's alive? He's secretly alive, but he's really dead.
Yeah.
I had no clue what it was. Holy crap!
Yes.
You're like, so now that we're both caught up with it, dude, Norman.
Well, first off, I'm going to start off with this. Anyone that is currently watching this podcast or listening to this podcast on Anchor or Spotify or any other podcast services that this channel is on. If you guys don't care to watch Promised Neverland, this is kind of the theory of the census of what's going on. Is that there's three main characters. There's Ray, there's Emma, and there's Norman, and they are very, very brilliant. All of them are brilliant. They are all brilliant in different ways, though. Emma she's smart. She's very, very smart, smarter than the average kid, but her strength resides in her physical ability. For Ray, he's more cunning. He has slide tactics and stuff like that. Again, really smart, very smart, but he's more cunning than anything else. Norman is the brains of everything. He is the whole medulla oblongata. You know what I mean? He's the top dog. In that, as the series goes on, the kids are revealed that in Promised Neverland, the foster home that they're at, the orphanage that they're at, is actually a farm. To where when they get of age or when they get to a certain development, you should say, that's when they go to their families. But they found out that they were being tricked and they were being shipped out to these demons and being eaten and killed by demons. So yeah, it was really, really, really gruesome, and it's very Attack on Titan-esque. Halfway through the first season, maybe almost towards the end of it, after they realized that there really was no easy way of escape, Norman, which is one of the main characters, gets shipped off to go to his family, and it's insinuated that he's dead this whole time. So anytime that you see Norman after this point, it's a ghost. It's a ghost of him because of him imagining that he's there and directing and giving them their last push to escape. The kids at the end of season 1, they do manage to escape. At least half of them. The kids are too young, are still back at the farm. I'm not sure where they went to, but I know that they are being held somewhere else currently because the house burned down because of a plan that was in motion by Ray and Emma and former Norman. Season 2 kind of comes in, and they're going through this whole survival Hunger Games type scenario, and this last episode, right when these demons were about to go ahead and kill Ray and Emma, and they were being surrounded by demons, out of nowhere, another demon slices off their heads and kills them. And then one of the demons takes off their mask, which is a short demon, and which that's not supposed to be a mask. That's supposed to be their face. and then takes off the mask, and then Emma and Ray, they take off their mask, and they're like really, really like shocked. And you see, and the screen pans out, and it shows Norman is still alive. So that's what we're talking about today. Insane stuff. I had a shred of hope that he was alive, and I had a feeling that he was still alive. But the way that the series was going, there wasn't really enough evidence to prove that he was alive. And
yeah, it was doing the series did a really great job, kind of tricking you into kind of like being like is he dead? Is he alive? Mm-hmm. Because like you said, Emma is very athletic. She's very smart, but she's also very naive. And her strength does lie very much so with her physical abilities. Ray is very smart as well, but he's also very cunning. He held the secret of what that farm really was since he was a baby somehow, because he's just that smart.
Yeah, he figured it out when he was a baby. That was a crazy thing. And he had cunning ways to kind of, because he was the reason why Emma and Norman found out about the farm, because he purposely set things up so they can go ahead and find it. Real fast, before we continue on with your statement, Gatorano says, I knew it because they never showed him physically die, and for him to be a main character, I don't think his death would be that unhighlighted. I agree, and that was the reason why I had that hope that he's still alive. That's personally why I had that hope that he was still alive, and I was just like, I think he's alive, but it was just dragging out for so long that he didn't make a reappearance, and it was just like, snap, dude, is he really dead?
Yeah.
And I came to peace at this point that he may actually be dead. And every time that we see Norman, it might just be flashbacks and stuff like that. That's what I was thinking. Or maybe just like inside their head you'll see Norman. But now that you actually see Norman, it's just like, holy crap, Norman is back. Back to you there, Gravity.
What I was going to say was that Norman really is kind of like the best of both worlds. Like, he is kind of like Ray and Emma just kind of put together, because he is also very athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like the story even said that like he was one of the best tag players, that almost nobody could catch him, and that he was both athletic and he was very smart, because back in season 1 they were trying to find a mole, because they had a suspicion that there was a mole leaking info to Mama.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well let's figure it out. And they were trying to see if it was either Gilda or Dawn, but he set up a trap for Ray because he suspected it was Ray. And he was like, oh, hey, yeah, I told you. This is what I told you about the ropes. Because like he set up this whole elaborate thing about like hiding rope, and then she found it. And then he was like, okay, well, like if she finds the rope, depending on where she finds the rope, that's who gave away the information. And so he told Ray that Dawn actually had it in some place, when really Dawn had it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, yeah, no, it's you. Like, you're the mole. So like Norman really he is kind of like both of them combined in a sense. He is very athletic, and he's also very intelligent.
Yeah.
The thing with Ray's death was that I tend to think. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Norman's death. Ray, he's still alive. I don't think he's gonna die. He might die like towards the end. I don't know. I haven't read the manga yet. The anime hasn't gotten there yet, so we'll see. But Norman's death, supposed death. So because they left him off, kind of like standing in the gateway to leave, and they kind of like zoomed in on him a little bit, and then they kind of cut to black, and then they didn't really show anything else. So at the very least, the way with my brain works, I was like, okay, so they didn't really show anything. So it very well could be that he is still alive because they didn't show his death. Or it's a misdirect. Or it's a misdirect to get the audience to think that he's still alive. And then later on in the series, when Emma and Ray and everyone else are kind of like out and about, maybe they go back to the farm to rescue everyone. And maybe Emma's just like running through kind of like the top secret places where they train all of the mamas. She's running around trying to look for everything. And she finds out that Norman actually did die. Because I do agree with Gatorano that like they didn't show his death at all. And so that was where I was kind of like, he could or couldn't be alive. But it could also be a huge misdirect to try to, because they didn't really highlight his death very much. because like he could have easily been alive, and he is, but it could have also been that they might have like, I don't know, like Emma might be like running around, like looking around, and maybe she busts into a room and she just collapses and she sees Norman's head in a jar. Because they're saving the brain, they're saving the best parts. So it easily could have been that too, that they're holding out this level of hope for that Norman might actually be alive, only to dash it.
Yeah.
But when they had the reveal, my reaction as they were kind of doing this, like I was trying to pick out like who was who, because like they had so many people who like were kind of like dressed in like these these robes with the masks that weren't supposed to be masks, but there's so many of those people kind of out and about that I was trying to figure out like who was who, what was going on. And by the very end of it, when they were cornered, and like the two guys that were chasing Emma and Ray were like, hey, like back off, like we found them first. I was like, oh, wait a sec. Like as I was saying this, I was like, oh, what if those are escaped humans? And as like verbatim, as I said that, somebody just dropped the knife, like just pulled out a knife and just sliced them up. And that, to me, that was just one of those like just those verbal thoughts where you're just like, oh, what if it's it is maybe.
Yeah. And my question to that is, if the demons were able to smell the scent of humans right then and there, like, yeah, they were right in front of them, but they were able to smell it in the air, how come no other demons noticed it? You know what I mean? Because they were in a city of demons. Someone must have noticed that.
You know what? I think it was because of the other two kids that went with them. For the life of me, I cannot remember their names. I just remember them as the dynamic duo.
The too small. Yeah. Guy just says they were disguising their smell. I might have to rewatch that episode again because I don't remember them fully disguising their smell, which is kind of, they only got a whiff of when they fell. So, but even if they just got it, even if it was just a whiff, I feel like most demons, especially in such close quarters, would have smelt that too as well. If not most, then more than those two. Maybe at least another couple more.
Yeah, because you would think that they would, but at the very least, like it was just the older kids that was going out, so they could have easily been disguising their smells, and maybe the kids just didn't do that, or maybe they didn't have enough to disguise their smell. I'm definitely going to have to rewatch that, and I will be rewatching it because I've seen season 1 like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, no, what did I got around to say? Yeah. Runes, they were saying, made the mask used. Oh, herbs disguise their smell. That's right. They had all of those jars full of different herbs that they were using to disguise their smell. That's right.
I don't know why, but I thought that was for medicine. I mean, obviously I misinterpreted that, but I thought
part of it was. I think part of, because they did say that part of it was for medical use, but I think part of it was for cooking. But I do believe that they were saying that it was to also disguise their smell as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I somehow missed that then. So that makes a much more sense for sure. But yeah,
thanks for the assist on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, man, and I know we were talking about this previously too as well. You have a suspicion, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a suspicion that Norman might be a mole.
I do. I have a sneaking suspicion that Norman is a mole. Because that was actually one of my theories that I had, like, as soon as Norman died. I was like, if he's alive, they're probably not just like why are they keeping him alive is the point. You know, like because he is top grade product. He is that Wagyu beef. He is that A1 grade beef. He is tasty. He's tasty. So why are they keeping him alive? It could be that maybe, like, I don't know, maybe they just want him to mature a little bit more. Maybe they're going to eat him later. Maybe they're going to use him as a strategy. Or my current theory, and this kind of like goes into how I think what his survival means for the rest of the series going forward. I do think he's a mole, and I think that it was because the grandma, it was both the grandma and mama both knew that there was already a plan to have these kids escape.
Yep.
So my theory was that they were keeping him alive on purpose as kind of a backup plan. because the grandma did like kind of like expect Mama to prevent them from escaping, but it's kind of an insurance policy to say, oh, hey, well, you know what? She should be able to keep them from escaping, but in the event that they don't, or in the event that she can't prevent them and they do escape, we have Norman, we have bait, we have this bait that we can just kind of dangle in front of their faces and say, ooh, here's your Norman. You want your Norman back? You gotta come back to the farm, or like just doing something to like trick them to do that, because it would be a role reversal with both Ray and Norman. Because in the first season you had Ray, who was the mole, and then you had Norman, who was kind of helping them escape. Now you can kind of flip the roles a little bit around, and that what does that do for Ray's character going forward? What does that do for Emma's character going forward?
Man,
like,
I mean, that would essentially destroy trust within anybody in the group.
It would destroy any sense of trust, and because this is a story of survival, what is that going to do for their survival going forward? Like, can they get along? Are they going to be able to agree on plans towards their survival? I mean, if you've seen any show that's remotely about a group of people trying to survive something, like one of the worst things that can happen is a disagreement, especially a heavy disagreement where there's no room for any sort of negotiations at all. But I do have that theory. I have a theory he's a mole.
Yeah, and it looks like Gadarano agrees with you too. He says, I was wondering if he's good. They wouldn't just let him go when they were after the others so bad. They were even willing to get him free. My thought is that the mom is using him to bring back the others.
Exactly Gadarano.
Yeah, I am like right. I see your guys' point. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case. I wouldn't be surprised, and I said this I think last week. I'll say it again. I wouldn't be surprised if the mom is on their way to get the kids, and she does one last effort to help them get to safety. And even if at the demise of her own life, obviously she's been living this whole time in fear of her own life because she has a device in her neck and stuff like that, and everything like that. But it's just like, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case, to where she's just like, you know what, I've had my time with you kids. Ray is my actual son. You know, I want to see you guys do better than what I did. Here's what I found. Gadarano says, here are my thoughts. 1, him and the others escaped containment, since the others would likely be as smart, since they were only eating the ones who were ready. 2, the mom and Norman made an agreement, and Norman is doing it to try to guarantee their safety. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think that's the more likely scenario. Now, Abs contributed to this other theory because she had another thought that I kind of I liked his thoughts. Now, go with me on this, because right now my theory is that Gadarano's thoughts on this are definitely what's going to happen. That's where my confidence lies. But if I had to throw a haymaker, if I was going deep, if I was going to try to throw a touchdown pass, full field, I would make this theory. Because Mama, when she was a child, she was on the farm herself. She also tried to escape. And in that moment of trying to escape, when her mama, who's now the grandmama, she tried. Is her name Grandmama?
They call her Grandma.
Oh, dude, they missed out.
Yeah, I think
they should have called her
either Grandma or Grandmother, but I know it's definitely.
They should have had her. They should have called her Grandma.
Mama.
Yeah, dude, that'd be terrifying. Like, picture like just being intimidated by someone named Grandmama. Like, ooh, that's scary. No, but here's the theory. In that moment where she's about to escape, and the grandma just is like, hey, like come back, like come on back. She didn't choose to go back because she was necessarily giving in. She hatched a plan because she is also very smart. She could have hatched a plan either at that time or maybe after she was a mama and maybe after she had Ray, that her farm, they've emphasized this several times, that her farm specifically is the best one. It like the stuff that comes from her farm specifically is really top quality stuff. And it could be because she's trying to have the most intelligent kids possible. She wants to she's trying so hard to get these kids to be just as smart, if not smarter than her, to help them escape. Because she disagrees with the farm. She doesn't want the kids to be in the farm, and she wants to have those kids escape. And because she wasn't able to escape herself, she wants to give that gift of escape to other kids. Like, why would you think? Because again, she's very smart. Don't you think that she would have been able to see the William Minerva stuff? Maybe, maybe not. But if her kids are going around talking about it, you'd think she'd want to silence that. So why is it that she's like giving these kids all this free time? She's allowing them to be this smart. Like, obviously, yeah, like there's the surface level, like, yeah, like get them to be super smart and intelligent so they can get that wrinkly brain and it can be super duper tasty. But it could also be that she's trying to get them to be as smart as possible, to raise them to be as physically fit and active and intelligent as possible. So that way they have the skills necessary to survive out there and to escape back into the human world. And that and if she's able to escape herself, great. Because I think she'll want to escape as well. But I do also think that she's going to die in the process.
Yeah.
I
think
if
the mom's going to survive this.
Yeah. And again, this is a haymaker theory. This is a let's just throw out all of these other things. And let's just say, if this is going to be a plot twist, it's going to be that.
I agree. I'm right there, Rich. I'm right there with Abs 3315's theory on that too as well. I mean, I think ultimately the mom is going to not turn over a new leaf, but I think she's going to show her double agent side against the demons and be like, hey, these are my kids. Like, it was hard enough for me to give up, like Connie, which was the first death we saw. It was hard enough to give up these kids and stuff like that to you guys. It was hard for me to abandon my friends back on the farm when I was a kid. Now this is the time for them to escape and go to the human nation and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be crazy.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Because like one other thing that I noted in like so far with what they've shown, because like they had a time skip in this most recent episode of about a year. So it's about a year later, and you were seeing kind of Emma become almost like she's almost actually fitting into a mama role.
Yeah.
Where she's now kind of like the mama of her group. She is that kind of like the head of her group. Everyone looks to her as everyone looked to mama.
Yeah. And
so they're kind of like, and so they've already kind of made those parallels between Emma and mama. So I'm wondering like if that parallel stops at just that, or if it shows that the mama, like, not only is Emma like mama is also like Emma, where she wants them to escape too. But again, that's just a crazy theory.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I think next episode comes out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that, because we are probably going to talk about that again next week at All Day Anime. Attack on Titan. The Band-Aid has been ripped off. Once again, we'll say this again. If you guys have yet to get caught up on Attack on Titan, you guys might want to stop now and come back to this podcast a little bit later. How much we're in? We're about an hour and 23 minutes in. So you guys can come back here at the hour and 23 minute mark after you watch the episode of Attack on Titan. Yeah, got her on his face right there. Got her on his face. Sasha is dead. The Band-Aid's been ripped off. The Band-Aid's been ripped off.
I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, I'm glad they ripped off the Band-Aid.
Not so much that they killed her off, but I'm glad they ripped it off. Like, I know I've said this in the past, but like with shows where they have a lot of characters, it's really hard sometimes for the writers to have the audience care about every single one of those characters. Yeah. And what I think Attack on Titan does very well is that they have a lot of characters, but it's like, my advice for watching Attack on Titan, that your first time through, don't get attached to anybody. Seriously,
just Games of Thrones it. Just Games of Thrones it.
Just Game of Thrones it. Like, don't. It's like don't get attached to anybody. Like, understand what, like, who they are. Like, just be like, oh, cool. Like, that's Levi's squad. Like, they're supposed to be really good. Okay, I get that, and then they're dead. like a lot of the times they'll use some of these characters as just a way to demonstrate just how powerful or strong or smart the enemy is. And so they kind of like do a really good job of trying to like trim down the fat, if you would, with some of these characters to kind of like just kind of focus on the main group.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now that they're essentially telling a second story with the antagonists now kind of, in a sense, being the protagonists. Mm. They're now the ones who are being attacked. And now that they've added so many characters to the roster, they got to kind of they got to trim the fat somewhere. And I really don't want to say that Sasha was the fat that needed to be cut, because I love her character, but I think she served her purpose as in terms of the story. I loved her character. Yeah. I love Potato Girl. Friggin' Attack on Titan Abridged, Team 4-Star. I'm sorry that you weren't able to do more of that, but that was the funniest thing. That was super funny. I loved that. That was what made me love Sasha. And the fact that Sasha grows into, and the fact that they kind of show her backstory and they kind of like show her progress into this very mature character who's also pretty carefree, you know, like, and she was a sniper too. Yeah. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was awesome. She didn't even have did she even have a scope, or did she just look down iron sights?
Yeah, iron sight.
Yeah, she looked down iron sights. That's even cooler.
Yeah.
Like I'm really upset, but I'm glad they did it when they did it. Yeah. That's my thing. I'm glad they did it now when they haven't really shown too much, because like if they kept going and they're like, oh yeah, like Sasha has a good life now, she has a home, maybe she has a family, or maybe she's doing X, Y, and Z, and they make you feel like really good for her, like, yeah, like good job, Sasha, and then they just rip it off, then be like, no, her family or whatever is going on. Like, yeah. It makes it seem a little bit easier to process.
And they definitely did a good job building that up too, because I was even talking to you about this, Gravity. Is that when you first saw that the known Survey Corp coming on over, and you saw their character designs, a lot of them I was just like, man, they looked like I liked that their character design looked so different to me in that first one. I didn't like the character designs in general, but I liked it that looked different to me, because I was just like, okay, now the spoiler that had happened to me, which that was my spoiler, by the way. Every single time I said, hey, I don't want to tell you, we know what's about to happen. Every single time that was discussed, I was talking about Sasha, because that was spoiled to me, because my friends had thought that I had already read the manga and got up to that point. I purposely did not read the manga because I want to see the action unfold in front of me, and that was a spoiler that had happened to me, but I was like, when I was thinking about it, I was like, all right, I'm glad the character designs look different, because now when this moment happens, whenever it happens, then I won't be as attached to Sasha. As it started progressing, the character designs that I thought looked different didn't look as different as I anticipated. So Mikasa doesn't look as different as I thought she did. I thought she looked really kind of bad before. She still looks different, but now to me, I saw her a little bit more in depth, and she looked just a little older. Same thing for Armin. We thought he had that weird bowl cut with the little fake. That wasn't him.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah,
that wasn't it. I was giving Armin so much crap for this beard that mine kind of mimics a little bit. So, but I was giving him so much crap, and I'm like, oh no, that's actually a completely different character.
Yeah,
and like I felt so dumb. I was like, oh, that wasn't.
Yeah, and I felt the same way about Sasha. I was like, all right, she doesn't look too much like Sasha, but then when they got on the ship and I saw her, like, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful character and everything like that, and she loves to eat and everything. And when Connie came over and hugged Sasha and John, and it was just like, I feel, this doesn't feel right me saying in front of everybody else, so I'm going to just tell you guys are special to me. That was already inching up, and I was like, is this about to happen? Yeah, I was like...
That was them giving the signal of like, I love you guys. Like, yeah, but yeah, we love them too.
Yeah, and then that was that. And then on top of that, like when it happened and everything, like she's like, again, trying to stay alive and everything. She's saying, I want some meat. You guys are being too loud or whatever. Like saying kind of ridiculous stuff. And then all of a sudden, it was, they showed a flashback of her on the wall as they just got done with their training and everything like that right before the attack on the Colossal Titan made his second appearance. It was just like one of those like, dang, they are really, really grasping at every single emotional tug string that you have with her. And then just to get to the end of that episode and see Connie open the door and his tears going down his eyes, he's just in shock. He says, Sasha, you already know what the next words are going to be. They cut to the scene. You see Armin, you see Mikasa showing their emotion, crying, and like really trying to beg for her to still be alive and try to have her come back to us. You see Sasha lying there lifeless. You see the title saying is dead. They go to that flashback that I was talking about. All of that hit, and I was just like, I hate you, Gabby. I hate you so much, Gabby. Like, die.
I felt the same thing. I felt the same thing. And yeah, I agree with Gatorano. The title of that episode, Assassin's Bullet, definitely gave it away, and it definitely hit me. It hit me, man.
Yeah.
But no, like that was the other thing with Sasha's death was that if if Gabby just like went in there, shot her, and then just dipped, I would have been so mad.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been furious. But the fact that she just like barrel rolled in there, shot Sasha, didn't have a plan at all, except like she kind of like assumed she was gonna die.
There, you're talking about it right now. Yeah, you're talking about it right now. You see Gatorano's comment? So did you feel any remorse when they were beating up Gabby? Take it away.
None at all. I was happy. And again, I don't promote child abuse. That's terrible. Never promote that. That's awful. But in this case of a fictional story, get her, kick her. Like I felt zero remorse.
I felt bad for Falco.
Falco was just. Oh yeah, Falco. I'm sorry, Falco was pulling a Morty at that spot. He was just there and just getting beat up. But no, I did feel bad for Falco because he was just like, what? Like, no, I felt zero remorse for her. I was like, yeah, get her, kick her.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Like I was like, ugh. And then my favorite part, she wasn't even done when they beat her. Like they were like were they? Okay, now I don't remember if Jean was holding her hair or if he was like she was.
I think the guards were holding her up, and he looked at her and just looking down at her.
Yeah, because at that part she was still like spitting like venom. She was a viper. She was just like spitting venom. She was like, man, like screw you guys, whatever. And when Jean was like, oh yeah, you have something to say? You want to go tell that to him? Let's go tell that to him. And I was like, oh, they're going to tell Eren. They're going to take Eren, but no. Oh, no. They're not taking her to go talk to Eren. They're talking her to go talk to Zeke.
Did not see that coming.
Zeke's just sitting there, he's just sitting there like a lump, like a potato with stubs, because like his limbs are still like regrowing, but like he's just sitting there like a little potato, little potato Zeke. Like it was absolutely a mind-blowing moment, and honestly it took like any sort of like anger or resentment that I had for Gabby just went poof. I was like, you know what, yeah, we lost Sasha, that was sad, I was very upset about that, but she got like her teeth knocked in. I don't know if she actually lost any teeth, but she got the crap beat out of her. And it was by like all of those characters, all of those other like scout members. Like I felt like I felt like Naruto with Ikagebushin just going in there and just being like, no, what did you do to Sasha? Why'd you do that? Yeah, I see you peeking in now. Do you want to say something?
Gabby's just a kid. I wanted to kick her in the face a few times. Then I'm like, you know what? She'll be all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right. She will. She'll be all right, but...
Little cameo from Abs 3315 for anyone that was curious.
I did not care at all. And the fact that she got the crap beat out of her, and she was taken to see that like one of the people that like she idolized was now actually working for the enemy.
Yeah.
It crushed, like it looked like it took all the wind out of her sail.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Like to me, that was that really bitter, just like that was that really bitter feeling of just like, oh yeah, cool. So you think you're hot stuff? All right, cool. Well, actually, you're not hot stuff. You don't mean anything.
Right.
You're just a kid. We're all over here killing people and making moves over here. You don't mean anything at all.
Yeah.
And I love that they tore her down because she had a huge ego. She had a huge ego. She was already kind of annoying.
Just like Aaron said, they're all the same.
Yeah, just like Aaron said, they're all the same. Like, they're all the same. And I love that she had her ego just torn down.
Yeah.
Because now they have the rest of the season, which I think was only like 4 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, to build it back up and maybe put her in a different state of mind. Maybe she'll see the world from a different perspective, or maybe she'll just go off the rails. Who knows? I don't know. But
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I want to give a shout out to Gamers Life, SQ99 Gamers Life. Good to see you inside the chat, man. Always a pleasure to have you around. Gatorano says that was mind blowing. I did like the semblance of when of what Gabby was experiencing, with what Aaron went through. It was showing her become another Aaron. Yeah, but here, and that actually leads me to my question to you guys, because Gatorano, me and you had a conversation about this, and I appreciate that you agree with me 100% because I think Ohio is wrong. But I want to ask you there, Gravity-Mark, what is Falco's role? What do you think is going to come of Falco?
I you and I have talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I I believe that what your theory was is that Falco's role is just that he's going to be the savior of everybody. He's going to be the savior. He's going to be the one to kind of end things or put things into perspective for people. My theory is that he's going to be the one left to pick up the pieces. I think that whatever beef is going on, it's going to end with Aaron, and it's going to end with Reiner. Mm-hmm. It's going to end with these guys fighting each other, tearing each other apart until there's nothing left, and then Falco's just going to be left there to pick up the pieces. Mm-hmm. That's my theory, is that he's just going to just say, okay, well, they destroyed each other, so what did we learn from this? That wasn't really right over there, and that also wasn't very right. It was kind of sad on both ends, but neither side really was in the right at ever. Yeah. Because even though one side was technically kind of you could make the argument that they were in the right, they were also in the wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's what is right, what is wrong, and Falco really, at least from what I've seen so far, is kind of in that. Because when he was about to leave, Aaron and Reiner were talking, Aaron was like, "No, stay back, just stay back here."
He needs to hear this. Yep, he needs to hear this.
You need to hear this, and because honestly, I feel like I said, I feel like both sides are wrong. While I do still I still do support the Paradise Island group, I think they're more so in the right than anything. Mm-hmm. The aliens in Marley are also kind of in that same group. Yeah. But they're kind of working for the people that kind of started all of this to begin with. And that's the thing, is I feel like if Falco chooses a side, if Falco steps up, maybe Falco steps up, maybe he gets a Titan. Maybe Falco gets a Titan and he steps up and he puts both sides down and he says, "No, you're wrong, we need to figure this out." Mm-hmm. Maybe he does that. But I feel like with the track that they're on, you can't convince Aaron to do anything. Yeah. Because with this most recent plan, it was Zeke's plan. For the most part, it went according to plan, but Aaron heavily deviated from that plan. He inserted himself in the middle of that city, erupted in the middle of the city, caused a huge ruckus, and that wasn't according to plan. That wasn't what was supposed to happen, and then it all ended up working out in the end. Sasha did die, but for the most part, the plan worked. Yeah. So it's kind of if Falco chooses a side, which side is he going to choose? And if he says both sides are wrong and he makes his own side, how is he going to convince the other people that they're also wrong?
Well, I'm actually going to take it to the chat because I think me and Gadarano really see eye to eye here, where it says Falco will become the next Eldian leader and will unify them. That or he will die heroically, which will stop the fight. I don't know if he's going to. I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that Falco's going to die, but I think he's going to be the one that will unify them because he's the one that actually is seeing both sides. He did have that relationship with Eren before he realized that was Eren. He was running messages for him. He did get advice from him. Then he brings Reiner to Eren, finds out about this whole thing, and then before he's about to leave, he hears both sides, and he can see Reiner's reaction to Eren, asking Eren to kill him. And it's just like he felt bad about that because now what Reiner set to do, he did, but he came back scarred because he had relationships with these people. He realized that they're not really demons. He realized that they're not really devils, that these are actual human beings that are innocent from what he found out, and that they just went ahead and did this. And that's something that he has to live with for the rest of his life. Eren, at this point, is so far gone in vengeance that he sees that they're the same. He even says it in the 2 episodes ago. He even says it 2 episodes ago and everything like that. He sees that they're the same, but you killed my mom. You started this war with me. I had all this rage. I had this promise that I'm going to eradicate every single Titan from this world. And I there's no turning back for me now. You killed my mom. And I think that's what I had gone into it. I agree with Gadarano saying that I think that Gabby was on the verge of being the next Eren, but Eren didn't have a Falco. Gabby does. True. You know what I mean? Now she was able. Would you make?
Go ahead. Well, I'll say this: is Armin kind of supposed to be his Falco, or is Armin just kind of like is kind of, because Armin is ultimately just as guilty.
Oh,
and he knows it.
Yeah,
he knows it.
Armin would be equivalent to a Berthold, but with a lot more intelligence. The thing that Falco is, and the reason why Armin is not his Falco, is because Falco legit heard both sides now. At the point of the first attack, all the way until they grew up, all these years go by, none of that was revealed to our crew. With Mikasa, with Armin, with Eren, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and that took years. Falco, at a young age, instantly exposes both sides. He's seeing the Nazis in the United States. He's seeing, you know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what's going on. He's seeing both sides of it. It's obvious to us which side was the evil side, but now you get to see why that side was kind of doing what they did. And it's just like, dang, like, I still side with the Paradise Island, but I get why they're upset. I get why they're attacking. I get why Gabby's frustrated because she doesn't know the other side. And she even said that inside one of the conversations when Falco was just like, we've attacked them too. They've lost people too. She's like, did you see it?
Yeah, yeah. Like, just be like, yeah, like, does a bear shit in the woods?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like if a tree falls down and no one's around to hear it, did it actually fall?
Exactly. But
like,
and though Falco didn't see it, he heard it from the sources, and he saw the guilt and literally the guilt from Reiner right there in front of Eren, someone that he always looked up to as strong, that was able to have the armor Titan, asking Eren to kill him and take vengeance on himself right then and there. That is insane to me, and it still blows in my mind that Ohio doesn't agree with me on that, because he thinks I'm crazy. He thinks that no one's going to listen to Falco just because he's a kid and stuff. He doesn't think that there's... And I was like, all right, I get what you're saying, but Falco is too much of a pivotal character that they've been creating in season 4 for him to... If it was just going to be an ongoing war, or they're able to tell that side of the story on both sides, because his thing is trying to show Falco, trying to tell the Eldian side. All right, cool. Do you really need Falco for that? No, you really don't. Why? What is the relevance of Falco? Is to show that he's now understanding both sides. He's coming to more of an actual conscious decision to go ahead and stand up for his people, but at the same time realize that they were also in the wrong. And I think that that's going to be something that is going to unify and stuff like that. I did have a spoiler, which I'm not going to tell. I don't know exactly what the spoiler is, but I do not. I don't know exactly what form of the spoiler it is a spoiler to, and that's really confusing to say. It'll make sense later on in the episodes and stuff. But and I'm not going to reveal it. But I do know some stuff that happens, and even though me and Ohio have differences on opinions there, I think that might actually support my thesis down the road. We'll have to kind of see.
I'm regardless, I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, 100%.
This show is incredibly, at least for me, it's really hard to predict.
Mhm.
Just because there could be anything. There's so many possibilities as to what could happen. And honestly, I love these types of discussions. Like, even though like we might like half agree on things, it's like the other half that you don't agree with me on. I'm like, oh shoot, oh I didn't think of it like that. Like that's just another thing to consider.
Yeah,
I think that to me just adds so much value to these types of stories and these types of anime that like we all are able to just come together and watch these things. And we might like see it from like different perspectives, but like I love that. It to me it just makes the whole experience that much more rich.
and guess what, Gravity? At least for Attack on Titan, we don't have to wait long because right when we end this stream, it should be up and for people to watch on Crunchyroll. So make sure you guys are checking that out here. We do have a few other topics that we're gonna have to save for until next week, just because we are wrapping up the show now. But I do want to thank everybody else that's been coming in: Gatorano, Gamers Life, Lavish Savage. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, saying hey, and hanging out with us for sure. Also want to give a shout out to Luna Band, who gave us a follow, I believe yesterday. Lavish Savage also yesterday, and Explorer Twitch. Thank you very much again for the follow. Tomorrow is going to be our Sin segment, but that one you guys will want to check out Mildewy Carrot's page, as him and TBF Abyss will be going through Halo, the whole series of Halo. On Tuesday is going to be our Alt Things Gaming. I believe it's episode 34, where we're going to give you guys gaming news, updates, all that. Also, that's something that you guys don't want to miss, because again, monthly we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card of your choosing. Winners will I will be reaching out to you guys through your Twitch DMs, or if we have it, your emails or Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case is, so that I can try to get a gift card for you guys and see what you guys win. Following us on Twitch will get you a single entry. Subs on Twitch will give you 2 additional entries, and that's in addition to the follow. And then if you guys comment the code word while we are live on All Things Gaming on Tuesdays, that will give you an additional 2 entries. The subs and follows will only be a single entry or single use entry per month. So only on a one-time basis for that month, you guys get 2 entries for subs. 1 entry for Twitch, again on a one-time basis per month. But on the codes, if you guys type in the codes every week that you guys are on, you guys could definitely go ahead and give us a code name, and it will go ahead and give you guys an additional 2 entries every week for the end of that month, and then we will choose that winner at the end of the month to see who wins. On here, Gatorano says it started off confusing, but when you look at everything, it comes together at the last season, makes sense of why everything was so convoluted, and I loved it. I agree, man. I think Attack on Titan, I don't know how many more episodes there are going to be in Attack on Titan. I'm very excited to see how this is going to pan out. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. And like I said, a new episode is out today. Make sure you guys are checking us out on social media platforms. Pretty much ALWT Gaming, anything. If you guys are checking us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, patreon.com /ALWT Gaming, the whole 9. If you guys are checking us out on YouTube, you might have to type in At Least We Tried Gaming. If you guys don't find us with ALWT Gaming. Also, make sure you guys are checking out our website, www.alwtgaming.com, and you guys can check out our content there as well as we update it. And we actually have merchandise from here, which you guys can find in the About Me section. And I'm going to be adding more to it as the week and months go on. So be on the lookout for all that. Do you have any last closing words there, Gravity-Mark Dos?
I don't remember where I saw this, so I do apologize. I don't know who the creator of this marvelous meme was, but whoever you are, credit to you. This is bravo. I saw a meme earlier this week that was the scene where Mikasa and Armin were just kind of like kneeling over Sasha's body, going like no, and They replaced Sasha's head with a Beyblade arena, with like one of those like old like those like little mini like Beyblade things, and they had 2 little Beyblades going at it, and I felt bad for laughing, but you know what? It was hilarious. So sometimes you have to find the humor. You got to find the humor in life wherever it may lie.
Well,
Peace, love, and
there you guys go. Again, we'll be back here again next Sunday, same time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, typically until 1:30. And yeah, And that's pretty much all we have today. So make sure you guys check out the content throughout the week. And yeah, that does it here for us. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Until next time, everybody, Control Alt Complete.
Complete.